Hi, my name is Lindsay Pate, and this is just a quick video about special education. From a historical perspective on special education, Thomas Hopkins created the first American residential school for those who were deaf, and that was established in 1817 in Connecticut. The Easter Seals organization has been helping individuals with disabilities and their families for over 90 years. Eunice Kennedy established the Special Olympics in 1968 and just gave more opportunities for those with disabilities. And more recently, Morgan's Wonderland was created, and it was designed for people specifically with disabilities, and it was free for everyone to enjoy. And then also Autism Speaks was created by Bob and Susan Wright when their grandchild was diagnosed with autism. The legislation piece for people with disabilities, I won't go through all of them, but I'll just touch on a couple. The Education for All Handicapped Children Act of 1975 was established for all people ages 3 through 18, and they must be provided with a free and appropriate public education. Then with the Infants and Toddlers with Disabilities, it was established for programs of early intervention services for infants and toddlers with handicaps, as well as for their families. Now we'll take a brief look at autism. Some of the characteristics would be communication problems, difficulty in relating to people, objects, and events, unusual play with toys and other objects, difficulty with changes in routine or familiar surroundings, also repetitive body movements or behavior patterns, and some recommendations respond best in a predictable and consistent program. And then some strategies would be social stories, picture exchange communication system, or PECS. The first and then strategy. Here is two of the strategies that I just talked about, the picture exchange communication system. The student would point to one of the pictures that I want this or that. And then also with the first and then strategy, the teacher or paraprofessional would show the student, first we do this, and then we can do this. Signs of learning disabilities are generally recognized when the child enters school, and specific learning tasks are expected. Cognitive or intellectual disabilities are diagnosed by determining first, the ability of a person's brain to learn, think, solve problems, and make sense of the world, and then whether the person has the skills he or she needs to live independently. Some implications of disabilities on learning. Teachers and parents must communicate with children how what they are learning relates to what is important to them, and then that will in turn establish a pattern of lifelong learning. And then students who are gifted and talented have potential for superior performance. This can include intellectual achievement, special aptitudes, or creative thinking and performing abilities. I've laid out how the IEP process would go, starting with consideration factors, then special factors, present level of performance, measurable annual goals, progress reporting, services and programs, participation in general education, assessment participation / accommodations, and then transition. So this would all be included on each child's IEP. The assessment process is the process of determining the disability, which will consist of teachers observing the child and then getting parent consent and then going through the testing stages. Some related services that a child with a disability may participate in is speech language pathology, audiology services, interpreting services, psychological services, physical and occupational therapy, counseling services, and many others. I do have a printed copy of the Rights of Parents in South Dakota, and then there's also a website at the end of this video, but some of the rights I'll go over. Parental consent is required before a child may be evaluated for the first time. Parental consent is required for a child's initial special education placement. Public agencies must notify parents when the agencies propose or refuse to initiate or change the identification, evaluation, or just a general IEP and placement of the child. Some resources for families of children with special needs include the Child Find Project, Evaluation, IFSP or Individualized Family Service Plan, Early Head Start and parents, Special Quests, and many others. I just wanted to talk about a few more things to remember about having inclusive family-school partnership. Learning is more effective when children can visually see and hear the material along with working with their hands on projects and activities. Putting what has been learned into action through verbal and physical reaction increases the learning experience. Learning is reinforced by repetition, reviewing often, and then again later. Asking the child to make to-do lists and stay organized along with maybe color coding certain things at home or at school. And then establishing a consistent schedule so the children can pace themselves and look ahead to what is coming next. This will also give the students the ability to strengthen their time management. Children with disabilities, like all children, need downtime. Having unstructured time that allows the child to make constructive leisure choices. Children should be encouraged to work hard and play hard. Here's a link of the definition of special needs and giftedness and also some other information. And then the link to the South Dakota Parents' Rights. And like I said, I also have some printed copies that I can give out. Thanks for listening.